For today's Tactic Talks, we are going back to a standard 4-4-2. It's about time. Let's check it out. This is called the 4-4-2 Fabrica dos Sonhos Oficial. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, as usual. It's a Portuguese tactic, and if you look at the tactic on the Steam Workshop, there is some information. It is in Portuguese. There's a picture here that shows a little bit of information, not a whole lot. But if I throw it into Google Translate, it says, "Hello everybody, hope you like it. Framework?" Well, they told me it was only possible to play in 4-3-3, and I didn't believe it. There were 50 epochs and an attempt to beat the longest save in the world. The time it took to get here, all of this happened on the some Twitch channel. Tactics for the teams with odds from 1,000 to 1 to national champions. If you want a Maradona on the left, you have to reserve everything to work better. I mean, I don't know what this really means. So if you speak Portuguese, please let us know and let you know how this should work. But basically, it is a goalkeeper in defend, inverted wingbackers in support on the left and right, central defenders on both sides, a defensive winger this time. I don't think we've seen that before in support. A wide playmaker on the right, Carrilero in support on the left, and the box-to-box on the right, a pressing forward in attack on the left, and an advanced forward in attack on the right. It is an attacking mentality, personalized. In possession, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing here anywhere. Mix crosses and be more expressive. In transition, distribute to the fullbacks. And then out of possession, high press line of engagement, standard defensive line, and trigger press much more often. And that is it. And I don't know why, but Newcastle did very well. Tottenham, not so great in 10th. Wolves, yeah, not even worth a mention. They're 31 points in 19th, well into relegation zone. I mean, I guess by one game, but still. Newcastle in 5th in Europa spots, 64 points. I mean, I guess it's probably somewhat average, a little higher than average maybe for them, but they did a fantastic job. And starting out with Newcastle, since they are on the tops of the charts, you can see losing out to Liverpool right at the start of the season, but a fantastic run with only 2 draws, a lot of green in there until Aston Villa. A little bit spottier after that. EFL Cup, you're moving on until you hit Wycombe Wanderers. 1-1 penalties, you lose out in the 4th round. And then FA Cup 3rd round, 2-3 against Sheffield United. And from that point on, it's really just spotty all the way down. Tottenham, spotty altogether. I mean, Champions League, you're doing fairly well. 5-1 over Victoria Pilsen. But then losing out to Borussia Dortmund and a bunch. EFL Cup 3rd round, Liverpool lost 0-4. Continue on in the FA Cup. Champions League, round of 16 against Barcelona. And then Barcelona, you're out against Barcelona in the round of 16. Champions Cup or FA Cup semi-final, 2-2 draw, losing out in penalties against Liverpool. But overall, a very spotty season. One I'm not going to get my hopes up for, Wolves doing a horrific job throughout pretty much everything. EFL Cup 2nd round, 3rd round, you're moving on. Lose out to Manchester United, 0-2 in the 4th round. FA Cup, you lose out 3-4 against Sheffield United. Wow, Sheffield United went pretty far in that. You had an okay May, I guess, 4 whopping points right there, but still not great. But if I look at Sheffield United, how did they do? They got to the quarterfinals against Southampton and lost. Transfers for Newcastle. The only one in here that I don't remember seeing is Jordan James. We may have seen him once before. Everyone else we've seen before, though. 5.5 for James, though. And then outs, same as always. Tottenham transfers. You've got Roger Ibanez from Roma, 43 million. Tony Weston, Chokchavla, Lava, well, I don't know, Copenhagen for 3.3. We've seen the others. And then outs. Yeah, I mean, a couple of new outs, but Tanganga to Borussia Dortmund, we've seen a lot of 10.5. And then Hugo Lloris to Al Ain for 5.25. Wolves, as you'd expect, nothing really. Miguel Veloso in August, and then same as always. Data hub-wise for all 3 teams, you can see Newcastle actually doing okay in attack. Actually, pretty good in attack, I should say. Everything's almost pretty much covered. Defensively, you're okay, I guess. You're hitting some averages, going above others. Same with Tottenham. Tottenham doing a little less attacking, but still defensively is in there. And Wolves. Wolves just are pretty piss poor in all categories. They're not even really getting to the Premier League average, or hitting some, but defensively not so great. Newcastle and Tottenham hitting the top 5. In most goals, fewest shots against, actually nobody. I mean, we're going to have another one of these. No one's there. Most shutouts, Newcastle. You do have that. 12 shutouts in 38 matches. Not too bad, actually. Most tackles, I mean, no defensive work whatsoever. No real offensive work. Most shots for, there you go, Newcastle and Tottenham. And then most points per game. Newcastle is in there, as you'd expect. Player overviews, most goals. You do have Callum Wilson, Isaac, and Son in the top 5. Most assists, Harry Kane is the only one. Another tactic where Kane seems to be pushed to the side and gives Son all the assists. So it's interesting to see. Most players in the match awards, you've got Kane with 7, Isaac with 5. Passing completion, most dribbles made, St. Maximin and Almiron. Fewest conceded, most shutouts, Nick Pope for Newcastle. Tackles one, you do have Neto, Semedo, and Almiron in there. Most key passes, Trippier and Sarabia. Most shots, Isaac, Wilson, Cunha, and Son. Overall, not too bad. I mean, I guess. And as we finish out, as usual, for Newcastle in all competitions, Callum Wilson with 26 goals. Wilson also with 7.4 average rating. Almiron with 10 assists. Wilson and Isaac with 5 Player of the Match awards. Callum Wilson doing a fantastic job, it looks like. Harry Kane for Tottenham, 25 goals in all competitions. Interesting to see when Son was higher up than him. I guess he scored a bit more in some of the other competitions, but Kane with 7.29 average rating, 13 assists, and then Harry Kane the quadruple with 9 Player of the Match awards. Raul Jimenez, 16 goals, not good at all, but what do you expect? 19th place. Jose Sa with 7.10 average rating. We've seen him a couple of times. He really saves their bacon a couple of times, but again, 31 points, not all that much. Cunha with 7 assists, and then Jimenez and Jose Sa with 5 Player of the Match awards apiece. Yeah, it just didn't work for them. Overall, I mean, sure, it's a standard 4-4-2 for the most part, very basic. You really don't have a lot of tactic discussions in there whatsoever, a lot of changes. So maybe try it out on a brand new team where you have no idea what to do with, and then kind of build your team from there, build your tactic up from there. So it could be a starting point. I mean, but then look at Wolves. I don't know. But anyway, that's it for me, Savvy FM for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.